Paul George, the Clippers all-star forward, has just signed an extension that will guarantee him over $226 million over the next 5 years. His agent, Aaron Mintz of CAA, tells me it's a 4-year extension, essentially. 4 years, $190 million. He'll have a $35 million salary this year. Then the extension kicks in. I'm told he'll have a player option before that 2024-25 season. But this is a huge signing commitment for the Clippers, who obviously traded a great deal of assets to Oklahoma City to get Paul George, to get the Kawhi Leonard commitment. And now they have Paul George locked down long-term with the Clippers.
All right, so Woj, that leads me to the second half of that. You'd mentioned a duo with Kawhi. You've got Paul George locked up. What does this now mean for Kawhi and his future in Los Angeles?
Well, Kawhi Leonard can't sign an extension until after this coming season, but these are two players who wanted to play together, who certainly know they have more work to do with the Clippers to try to win a championship. But they continue to be committed to each other, to that Clipper organization. And Paul George for LA, he was ultimately the key to getting Kawhi Leonard, getting that trade with Oklahoma City. And it's pretty remarkable when you think it was just 6 years ago Paul George had that devastating leg injury in Las Vegas with Team USA. People wondered, would he be an elite player again? And not only that, he has signed now his second long-term extension here in recent years. 4 years, $190 million on this extension. Overall, 5 years, nearly $226 million, Matt.
Woj, as you know, in the NBA, it is about your superstar duos. And right now, the Clippers are in a very good position, locked up with their superstars. The Clippers open the preseason tomorrow night against the Lakers. Woj, thanks for hopping off with us. Good stuff. So Paul George has certainly been one of the league's best in recent years, one of 5 players to average 20 points, 5 rebounds per game in all 5 seasons since 2015 and 2016. A list that also includes Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who together just won a championship. And, of course, James Harden, who right now is TBD. All right, bottom of the hour. Time now for half-hour headlines. Plenty to get to in the back half of this show.
Yeah, and a great football game tonight. The Patriots and Rams meet tonight for the first time since Super Bowl 53. That game wasn't so great. I expect tonight to be a lot more fun. Both teams have now just 17 players who dressed for that Super Bowl game on their active rosters today. The key is, though, that the Rams did keep their key pieces. The Patriots, of course, did not. Cam Newton is listed as questionable, but Adam Schefter, of course, just said earlier that he does expect him to play tonight. And taking a look at the Rams and Seahawks remaining schedules, both currently 8-4, but the Rams own the tiebreak and based on head-to-head win percentage. However, the two teams do play each other again in Week 16 in Seattle. The Rams are currently favored by just 1 point, according to ESPN's FPI.
All right, Paul George just got his millions, and then now there's the $1 million question in Milwaukee. We know Giannis is going to get his, but when and where? The Greek Freak won't shed any light on his long-term future, saying it's up to his agent to get it done. Giannis does have until December 21st to sign that 5-year, $228 million super max extension in Milwaukee. Here's what he said.
It's not on my mind. What's on my mind is playing basketball and improving every day, and that's what's going to be always on my mind. And that's what I've been doing since day one, and it's never going to change. I can guarantee you that. If it's year 8 or year 25, it's not going to change. Obviously, it's something that stresses every player out off the court about agents and contracts. I'm not focusing on that, and not that I don't care about it. Obviously, I care about it. It's a very big decision in my life, probably one of the biggest decisions I'm going to make. But I just let my agent to focus on that, and I'm going to focus in getting ready on Saturday to play the first preseason game.
All right, so the Bucks can definitely give Giannis what other teams can't. That'd be a 5-year, $228 million deal with an average annual value of nearly $46 million. Deadline for that deal, as I said, December 21st. Meanwhile, signing elsewhere next offseason would mean only 4 years for $145 million, reducing his average annual value by nearly $10 million.
Well, the Nets are preparing for their preseason games, and Kevin Durant will be utilized differently than before. The former league MVP, who has recovered from a torn Achilles, said that he expects to play small forward and also spend a little time at center. First-year head coach Steve Nash is encouraging his Brooklyn team to play positionless basketball. And after missing the start of training camp, James Harden joined the Rockets on Tuesday. He took part in COVID testing, but according to ESPN, the 8-time All-Star must have 6 consecutive negative COVID-19 tests before the NBA will clear him to practice with the team. That could be as early as Monday. Tim McMahon, of course, will join us with a little bit more on that Harden situation. Now, assuming Harden is cleared to practice with the team,
Paul George is going to be a Clipper for the foreseeable future. PG signed a 4-year extension, guarantee him as much as $226 million over the next 5 years. The new deal keeps the 30-year-old George in his native Southern California. It obviously will serve as a catalyst, along with Kawhi Leonard, to commit to a new deal. So they've got their duo in L.A. One might argue that PG3's three-point prowess alone is worth the max extension money. One of 7 players to knock down at least 1,000 threes over the last 5 seasons. Others include James Harden, Damian Lillard, and Steph Curry. Now, you came to us by way of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Did you ever consider rooting for the Clippers? Were you a Lakers person?
it was the Lakers. But we grew up Suns fans.
We did.
Grew up in Arizona, loved Suns, loved Charles Barkley. That was our era. But
Tom Chambers, Dan Marley, Jeff Hornacek, Kevin Johnson. Come on,
So
bring
good.
it. Oliver Miller.
Happy Hour is presented by Captain Morgan. Drink responsibly.
Jalen and Jacoby is presented by Captain Morgan.
He is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
We have Tariq from Power, Michael Rainey Jr. joining us later in the show, but we start with the MVP of the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo has until December 21st to sign a Supermax extension with his team, the Milwaukee Bucks. He had some media availability, and here's what he had to say about it.
I'm not trying to focus on that, and not that I don't care about it. Obviously, I care about it. It's a very big decision. My life, probably one of the biggest decisions I'm going to make, but I just let my agent to focus on that, and I'm going to focus in getting ready on Saturday to play the first preseason game.
He's not focused on it, Jalen. He's not focused on the contract. He lets his agent deal with that. What do you read into these comments from the MVP?
Well, Giannis is a professional. He deserved to be the back-to-back MVP for the regular season. However, once his team got to the postseason, Jacoby, they haven't met expectations. And he said a couple of things as somebody that's negotiated a lot of contracts in multimedia and as a player that should be alarming for Milwaukee Bucks fans. One is, I'm not thinking about that right now. Let me tell everybody something. If you have $200+ million on the table at any point of your life, you're thinking about it.
Yeah,
you're thinking about it. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how good you are at basketball. That's $250 million. You're thinking about it. The other thing is talk to my agent. Like that one right there, that's almost like talk to the hand. In other words, we're going to get out here and play basketball this year. We're going to see if we go farther than we did last year. If we don't go farther than we did last year, unfortunately for me and my fandom, he's going to fall into the category of notable, great, all-star, current NBA players that have switched teams over the last couple of years, Jacoby.
Well, here's the thing, Jalen. There's no reason for Giannis to sign that deal. Now, you discussed this. Now, this is something that bothers you. Why does it bother you that these big players switch teams?
Well, all situations aren't created equal. Kyrie Irving was trying to find a home. When he left Cleveland, he left Boston, and he landed with KD with the Nets. Russell Westbrook was an MVP a handful of years ago, Jacoby. He's going to be on his 3rd team in 3 years. Paul George wanted to return to Cali to team up with Kawhi Leonard. And Jimmy Butler was looking for happiness. That's all he didn't get it in Chicago, didn't get it in Minnesota, didn't get it in Philly. He found it in Miami. But Jacoby, what changes the landscape of the NBA is when you have MVP level players, champions, finals MVPs, superstars, changing teams. That really affects the dynamics of the league. Ask Oklahoma City. Remember we used to talk about them? We don't talk about them no more. You know why? They don't have Russ, they don't have KD, and they don't have Harden. That's just how this game works.